Welcome in to the Arkansas Sports Network's Hometown Sports Football Preview, proudly presented by Arkansas Tech University, D3 Auto Sales, and by Metcalf Trucking Company. Today we sit down with Rivercrest Colts head coach Johnny Fleming. This pigskin preview is brought to you by Greenway Equipment of Marked Tree.
Welcome back into the Hometown Sports Arkansas Football Preview presented by the Arkansas Sports Network. Got Coach Johnny Fleming of the Rivercrest Colts. Coach, thank you for joining us here. We're excited to be here at Rivercrest, such a tradition-rich school here. Great football program. Been leading the program for a while now. Tell us a little bit about last year with your team. You guys made it all the way to the state finals. Weren't able to overcome. Still a great season.
Yeah, it was a really good season. You know, anytime you can play the last game of the season in the state finals, you've had a heck of a season. We had some injuries at the early middle part of the season. It really, I would say, made us better for the end because those guys that had to step up and play some important minutes for us while we had some key players out. We had, both our starting linebackers and fullbacks out for about 4 games. So somebody had to step in there. I'll tell you what, Michael Rayner stepped in and did a great job for us, especially the first game against Pocahontas. They were big, and they kind of changed their offense a little bit on us and just tried to just run it right down our throat. And it took us about a half to finally adjust to doing what we needed to do, and Michael kept us in the game, and then in the fourth quarter he kind of took over. So, we're going to miss those guys. All 3 of them are going to UAPB to play football, so I'm excited for them about that. They, play the Hogs the first game, so that's going to be interesting for them.
Yeah, in Little Rock, that'll be interesting for sure. Let's talk about your assistants. One of the reasons we do this, talking about assistants, is everybody gives you the attention. And some of that's good, some of that's bad, but I know these assistants help you really carry the water around here.
They do. They take so much pressure off me. Some days it just makes my job so much easier. I'm going to start with my offensive coordinator, which is Brett Harden. He does a great job with the offense, calling plays. First couple of years, I kind of stayed right there beside him and would suggest plays, and now he's on his own, and he knows, what we can do and what we can't do, and he does a great job. I've known him all his life, so he's like part of home. Murphy Smith, our defensive coordinator, he played for us here. His dad was a head coach here at one time, so it's a family atmosphere here. Greg Griffin, who is our offensive line and defensive line coach, he graduated here in 1974. So, we've got guys, and I probably got that wrong, so he'll tell me about it when he sees me, because I made him a little bit older than probably he is. But, he's been here for a long time, and, like I said, it's like family. Stephen Elrod is a graduate from here.
Yeah.
So, it's just a family atmosphere. Everybody pulls for each other and cares for each other, and, you kind of know what we need to do. And without me even being there, they know what we need to do.
Yeah.
And that's, I'm being a student, so sometimes I get caught up having to deal with problems right at the end of school, and they just carry on like, it's supposed to, like even if I was out there. So it's great to have those guys.
Well, that's a sign of a good leader, number one. But you also get good people around you. That helps.
Oh, definitely.
So let's talk a little bit about your returners. Let's talk about guys that can be all conference, all state type of players for you.
Okay. I'm going to start up there where it always starts, at his own line of scrimmage. If you don't have somebody up front, you're going to be in trouble. We got Andrew Olmack up there that's a 3-year starter that can play any position on the line of scrimmage that we need him to play. And he's just an aggressive kid and is going to go after you. Nolan Williams is a senior last year. He was a part-time fullback, and we had a lineman go out in the 3rd game against Valley View, and we were looking around, and he was the best fit, and he was all for it to play every single play instead of not getting to play hardly any. And I'm really excited about him coming back and just seeing what he can do with a full year under his belt, and now starting this next year off. So we're excited about that. We've got some young guys that are coming in. Emmanuel Harris, who's a junior, he's probably about 5'10", 230-ish, but he won't back down from anybody. he likes to get into it in practice and get in people's heads and just get after them. And he'll play through the whistle, and sometimes that gets people mad.
Yeah.
But he's one of those kids that wants to play and get after you. We've got some 10th graders, 9th graders that are moving up that we're really excited about. They've got size that you need up there. Diesel Freeman.
What a
He's
great
got the right name, right? And it's spelled just like that, but it's got a Z in there.
There you go.
I mean, he's another like the manual. He plays a little bit longer than the whistle sometimes when he gets mad. If somebody's beating him, he tries to get the last lick in.
Yeah.
Kendrick, we call him Big Red. And Kendrick Brooks. He's kind of like a bowling ball. we see him playing right there in the middle on defense. He's going to clog up the middle, and that gives those linebackers a place to go. And also, he can play guard for us and pulls. Just big as he is, he's got limber feet. So we're expecting big things from our line, but it may take a while with them being so young.
Yeah.
So get in the backfield. Our quarterback situation right now is a mixture of a guy that can really throw it. Joe Louis Ralph can throw the ball, I would say, as far as anybody in the state. He's a 90-mile-an-hour fastball on the baseball team. Got good accuracy, can throw it. Sometimes he throws it too hard on the short routes, but once we get that figured out, he's going to be a really good hand. Jaden Young will also play that position. They'll battle back and forth, and Jaden's kind of like Michael Rayner was. He gets back there, it can be electric at times. Yeah. We're also going to use him out here at slot receiver and split him out and get him open in space and see what happens. And, we'll just see which fits best for that game that day. Sometimes it's a power game. Sometimes it's more of a finesse game. So, we're excited about having both those guys back there. Out wide, we've got two really good receivers. Buda Harris, he's going to be a junior. He's been playing. He moved up as a 9th grader on the basketball team, and they went to the state quarterfinals. And he's a really good athlete. He's getting taller. He's got huge hands. If he gets close to him, he's going to catch it.
Yep.
And we're really excited about him out there. On the other side, I'm telling you what, Kieran Morris is coming into his own. His brother played for us the last 3 years, and he's a junior this year. And I tell you what, he's got exceptional hands. We went to Gosnell to a team camp last week, and he caught 2 touchdown passes, went up, over people and caught them. And we were really surprised that he could do that. So that gives us another weapon out there. On the inside, we got Michael Faison, which he had to quarterback that team camp. And he's never quarterbacked before except in practice on Black D, on the scout team. And he did a great job for us, but he is lightning quick. He's about 5'6", 140. But he can move. He's on the track team. He's all state in track, and he runs about a 54 400.
Yeah. So
we're expecting him to do big things for us.
So that's 54 400. That's legit.
He is scooting. Yep. Sure is.
So let's talk about some guys that might surprise. Who are some guys that had really good off season this year that might surprise somebody?
Well, Eli Hill is 10th grader, and he's another one of those guys. He can play on the line. He can play fullback. He's going to be battling for a linebacker position, or on the offensive line or defensive line. He's one of those guys that we're expecting to be a big plus for us. Monterius Smith, or Max Smith, he's a senior. He didn't get to play a whole lot last year. He was one of the backup linebackers that got some time when our other linebackers were out. But we're expecting some big things out of him. He's probably our best looking kid.
Yeah.
If you get him in a suit or get him without a suit on. He looks like a football player. And he kind of showed out at our team camp last week. And we seem to do it in practice some, but sometimes he knows where the play's going. And you look really good. But last week in that team camp, we were really surprised and happy with what we saw from him. So we're expecting things from him. I got Naeem Rayner.
Yeah.
Who's the brother of Michael. And he's going to be a junior. He's a fullback type, linebacker type, just a strong, big kid that we're expecting good things from.
Let's talk a little bit about your conference. 3A3, tell you what, been talking to some folks in the 3A3. This conference is loaded.
It is. You got to start with Osceola. they've always got athletes, you know, and they're going to be good. With Coach Hooks coming back, it's very added excitement there. So I'm sure some more kids that hadn't been playing maybe are coming back out. So, you know, it's going to be a challenge. We don't play them to week 8, so we got a lot of other things to worry about before we get to them. You know, Hoxie, Coach Sears does a great job down there with them year in, year out. They're always fighting, you know, to get to that quarterfinal, semifinal spot. I know Walnut Ridge is supposed to have the best team they've had in a long time. Coach Blake does a great job with them. You know, we hadn't played them.
Yeah.
So we're going to have to watch a lot of film, and, you know, we play them and Hoxie right back to back. Then we, I think, got Newport, and then we got Osceola. So, you know, it's a tough stretch right there. And, you know, it's going to be tough.
Yeah, at the 3A3, you know, not a lot of people talk about it as much, but really when you talk about you guys dropping down, and then you got Newport coming over and coming in, I mean, it really, Manila is going to be improved as well.
They're getting better. You know, Harrisburg's getting better. You better be ready to play. You better not take anybody lightly on Friday night.
Talk about your schedule here. Tell us a little bit about, of course, we just went down the conference schedule. What do you got non-conference?
Non-conference, we're going to open up with Geisel, you know, which we're familiar with them. But I'll tell you what, they're loaded athletic-wise. They're loaded. And then we're going to play EPC, who played in the the finals of the state last year. You know, they lost, but they got some good athletes coming back. You know, and then we play Forest City, which will have as good as athletes as anybody will see. Right. So that's what we try to do, you know, non-conference-wise. You know, last year we played Little Rock Mills and Valley View, and, you know, it beat us up some, but it lets you know whether you think you can play with the rest of your conference. If we can play with them, we think we can play with the guys in our conference.
All right, final question here. It will be a successful season at Rivercrest if?
Well, it's always a conference championship is what you're looking for. You know, you always love to go undefeated, but that's not really too much of a realistic. With the schedule that we have, we know there's going to be some hiccups there. You just hope it's not in the conference season part of it. You know, we want to get back to the state finals. You know, that's what these kids expect, you know. And if you go back and look at our track record, about every 3 or 4 years, that's where they're playing as in the state finals. So, you know, that's what we're working toward. Now, whether we get there or not, you know, don't know. But if we get the best out of our kids every day in practice and Friday night, we'll live with whatever happens.
This is Coach Johnny Fleming of the Rivercrest Colts joining us here on the Hometown Sports Arkansas Football Preview presented by the Arkansas Sports Network. You can catch all of our content on YouTube and on Facebook. Just tune in, and we'll see you next time.
Thanks again for joining us on the Arkansas Sports Network's Hometown Sports Football Preview. Don't forget to like and subscribe to the Arkansas Sports Network on YouTube to catch more previews and all the latest updates on your favorite teams.